Hello, kia ora, g'day. I'm Philip Duncan from Weather Watch TV on YouTube with your Australia-only forecast. For the next few days ahead, as more severe weather risks come back into the nation. Let's kick off with the satellite map today, again showing water vapour. So where you see the brighter, whiter area, that's the highest risk of getting cloud and rain or showers. We can certainly see here in the green, that's the rain bands moving through. Nothing huge. Sort of seeing a few millimetres up to maybe 15 or so coming through. We might see some higher totals as it slows down a wee bit running into the hills here to the east. A few thunderstorms into Victoria and a little bit around southern parts of New South Wales. Apart from that, only a couple of isolated showers here and there elsewhere around the country, other than Queensland, where maybe a few more heavier ones are forming. Otherwise, pretty dry in most places despite that low pressure zone moving down to the south. Look at the wind gusts this morning. This was 8 o'clock Eastern time, 111 kilometres an hour, 93 kilometres an hour, and lots of places in the red. Those are into gale force. So we are seeing gusts into gale force. It's not massively damaging, but it's getting up to that point where there will be pockets of wind damage and a few power outages as well. And remember, this is moving eastwards, so some of the numbers out here to the east may actually go up further over the next day or so. So here is the situation going into the later part of today. The low here just south of Victoria by the time we go into tonight. And so windy northerlies carry on. And like I said yesterday, they ramp up as they go over the hills, like water going over a waterfall, it rushes down the other side. And so that's what we're seeing with some of those big strong gusts. And then on the other side of the low, you've got the colder, more wintry change, west to southwest winds, and they're also very strong around parts of South Australia. So all of that is moving towards Tasmania and the Tasman Sea. Elsewhere, things aren't too bad, although we have seen a bit of a windy easterly also around some parts of Western Australia. So here is the wind gust map. Overnight tonight, 4 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time. Here are the worst winds in purple. So they're coming in through Bass Strait and some northern and northwestern parts of Tasmania. It'll also be windy over the top of the highest peaks east of Queenstown and blustery conditions around the place. You've got all the hills and ranges and valleys, breaks up the wind, and at the same time, the low that's causing this is also changing shape. So this is probably about as bad as it gets, but there could be a 3 or 4 hour difference between that map and the reality of it all, because things can slow down or speed up. But it does look a bit windy on Wednesday. So here is Wednesday afternoon. In the purple boxes, the highest risk for severe weather. It doesn't necessarily mean everyone gets it, but that's where the main risk zones are. So Tasmania, rain coming through, a dusting of snow potentially again higher up. Heaviest rain in the north and the west of the island. Places like Hobart not seeing as much in the way of rain, but certainly windy westerlies carry on. Further up around parts of New South Wales and the A.C.T, as that cold wintry change comes in, it could spark some heavy downpours, maybe some thunderstorms as well. That's the risk that you're really seeing there in the purple box, and there'll be some snow returning once more. Over onto the western side of Australia, the next cold front comes on through. It's not quite arriving yet. Westerly winds pick up a few showers for you. Elsewhere, we do see showers going into Queensland. Not as many as we are expecting this weekend though, but there are some showers coming through here. And I've got to point out, yes, I tend to focus on rain for those who need rain. But there are always people that don't want rain at certain times of the year. For example, grape growers don't like it at the end of summer, and or at least in New Zealand it's that time. And over in Australia, the mango growers up in Queensland, I got a comment yesterday saying we don't want rain in July. So very fair point. If I'm saying there's some good rain on the way and you don't need it, please tell me on YouTube that you don't need rain and let me know why you don't need rain as well. It helps me kind of figure out a few more details which do help you. High pressure in charge here, moving in from South Australia into Queensland and New South Wales. So that high is the main feature. And on Thursday, it drifts out to the east. So the temperatures drop at nighttime. Following that southerly, frosty weather returns. There might be a few showers remaining in Victoria and around Tasmania, otherwise drying out, and a few coastal showers in Queensland won't add up to very much by the looks of it. Most of the energy here on Thursday is from the next developing system. So let's begin. High pressure out here over the Indian Ocean, encouraging a wintry southerly. The blue line, the polar air, mass moves up and well into Western Australia. So you're going to feel those temperatures down. Strong southerlies, gale force in exposed areas, hopefully not getting up too damaging, but gales are still possible. And then you've got some rain, showers, thunderstorms, and some hail in the mix as well. Further to the east, a bit of low pressure, a few showers, a few thunderstorms in there, but it doesn't look too bad other than that northerly wind picking up. But on Friday, quite a difference as that low starts to rapidly form, moving from Western Australia to South Australia. So now you're seeing two different airflows. Windy northerlies coming into New South Wales, Queensland, down into Victoria. Gale force at times. On the western side, around Western Australia and coming into South Australia, the wintry southerly coming through, also getting up to gale force. Then you've got the area here with the green and the yellow that shows rainfall between 10 and 30 millimetres in 24 hours going into the end of Friday. And there'll be some thunderstorms in there as you transition from the warm to the cold. So proper kind of winter weather, but you might also describe it as autumn-like or spring-like because of the varying temperatures, the warmer weather followed by the colder stuff. So going into the weekend, things get a bit more interesting now in the more populated parts of the east. We're seeing the low itself coming right into Bass Strait. That means windy westerlies blow across New South Wales. There'll be gale force in some places and they might even get up to severe gale. We're not necessarily expecting that right across New South Wales. It'll depend on how close you are to the hills, to the Great Dividing Range, and that will break up that flow. So it looks a little windy and there might be some areas that have some power cuts as a result of those westerlies. You've also got this wet weather. Mango growers in Queensland. There could be some heavy falls with thunderstorms coming through on Saturday. But if you're a farmer, you might enjoy the rain. It could be good news for you during the dry season. But certainly westerlies coming through, thunderstorms, downpours, and then the colder southerly comes in to South Australia as we go into Saturday. So by Sunday, it moves from South Australia to Bass Strait, Tasmania. That's where the low itself is. And so the severe weather risks are across parts of South Australia and Victoria, where you've got hail, squally showers, and then snow again, higher up into the mountains. Windy west to southwesters, they'll go across Canberra and into New South Wales. They'll fade out the further north you go. And you can also see as high pressure comes in here to Central Australia, over Alice Springs and further to the east, that's going to bulldoze away the thundery downpours around Queensland. So a drier change is coming through for you. So a few things going on here, and then back again in the southwest corner of Western Australia, there's your next cold front coming through on Sunday. More cold air, more wind, more downpours, and the chance of some thunderstorms. So next week, our final map here shows a big high pressure zone coming out of the Indian Ocean. That's part of the reason you've got that wintry southerly coming in, now pushing into South Australia. But it's cold around Victoria and Tasmania and up to about the A.C.T. as that low pressure all down here in the Southern Ocean area and the Great Australian Bight comes up. And so you'll feel the temperatures down again, or you might not notice much of a change as that colder airflow really dominates southern parts of Australia. Westerlies or northwesterlies further up around New South Wales, high pressure smack bang over Queensland. And I'm very sorry, Northern Territory viewers, I haven't mentioned you much today because you probably noticed there is very little going on. Some low temperatures in the Northern Territory, some frosty weather around this week. Probably not on the top end though, too warm up there. The tropical red line remains in place. And then all of that weather heading off towards New Zealand, severe gales potentially for the New Zealand area next week. That's all from me. I'll be back again tomorrow, Wednesday, as we continue to update you on the severe weather risks around Australia. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the comments. I'll see you again tomorrow.